I was asked to give an update on the homeless. Well, the update is that hell has frozen over, and our houseless neighbors are smack dab in the middle of it. The class warfare is exploding neighborhoods, bulldozing our friends and families onto the streets as gentrification treads onwards, swallowing our town block by block. The developers colonize our streets, taking homes with militant markets. The casualties are found outside, a cold that they had no refuge from. Shelters pop up with no walls. The state and FEMA don't even deign to bungle up some kind of rescue effort. Those who find solace in quiet copses of disuse are chased out by the baying of nightsticks. The state does its best to tally the loss, voyeurs of their neglectful consequences. There are no beds here, only blankets, some as thin as sheets. There are no walls here, except for the four ones holding up the roof. There are 80 souls splayed across the floor, spent matchsticks beheld by numb eyes. The swishers I inhale can't keep my hands from burning frigidly in the vacuous night air. There's little sleeping in these conditions. Some catnap in the lit entry to the mess despite the noise of eating. It must feel safer under that table than in the dark recesses of the main room. A man asked to go to the hospital due to pain. His hands are so frostbit that they're inflamed. A woman walks into the cold with little more than day clothes and a blanket, telling us she's going home, but the volunteers tell me she stays there. My lungs shiver in the wind as I circle the blocks, furtive hope turning frosted bushes and enshadowed hydrants into her shape. I cannot find her, but I do find state and local cops glaring dully from their crawling patrollers at the huddled smokers outside the church. I was asked to give an update on the homeless. Well, the people on our streets need us to stop watching and wondering and start doing, but mostly they need liberation. We need to stop trying to commodify them into something productive. Fuck productivity. Do you know how close they are to each other? Hey, did you eat? Do you want to smoke? Have you seen them today? Make sure you get some donuts before they're gone. Several tell me they feel tested, but if there is a Jesus Christ, haha, it certainly isn't the poor whose souls are being tried, as to which I can only pray to my goat-headed goddess and burn offerings to the saint of lost causes. But these people need space and opportunity. These people are survivors of a ravenous market that consumes their friends and street fam, bones and all. They could thrive if the states and the bankers' boots weren't slowly crushing their necks. They say downtown is dangerous, and yes it is. The unhoused are suffering hourly. The war zone of capital leaves no haven, not even for the ill, the frail, the children of Olympia. The next morning, day fluoresces into the eastern sky. I light as many cigarettes as I can, the heat of my off-brand Bic, the only comfort I can provide. We inhale slow death as we watch the commodified populace start their Starbucks before work lives, colonists trespassing occupied soil. Have you ever seen people sail past each other as unacknowledging as open vessels, shoving aside bright waters? I would also like to acknowledge that many of the people who I've seen volunteering down in the shelter are trans-identified folks. Many of the people who benefit from these services are trans-identified people. You know, I would be remiss if I didn't put out an ask for y'all. If you have time, especially evening and overnight hours, please volunteer at the Interfaith pop-up shelter. You can get in touch with Meg Martin. They need donations, they need cup noodles, but they also need coffee, food, blankets. They really also need good medical supplies, cleaning supplies, gloves, toilet paper. You know, all of these sorts of things that we take for granted. If you have anything knocking around that you do not need, there are people out there who would be ever so grateful for it. Please consider to give your time and your energy. It is because honestly, we cannot sit and wait for someone to come in and save these people. It is us who need to save our neighbors, our friends, our family, and we can do it.